Later this morning, the Senate will vote to advance the nomination of Lauren McFerrin to serve another term as a member of the National Labor Relations Board. Ms. McFerrin has served admirably on the NLRB for many years, where she's known for her fairness, her deep expertise, and guiding the board to deal with the challenges of the contemporary workplace. She worked in the Senate for our former colleagues, Tom Harkin and the late Ted Kennedy. If you truly care about working families, if you care about fixing income inequality in America, then you should be in favor of advancing today's NLRB nominee. You can't say you're for working families and then go and vote no today, because the NLRB protects workers from mistreatment on the job and from overreaching employers. Now, on the HEARTS Act passage, last night, in a great moment, the Senate finally reached the end zone of the HEARTS Act, a bill I've worked on for months with Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills to better prepare schools against cardiac emergencies. The HEARTS Act is now on the way to President Biden's desk, and by doing so, we're ensuring that every school has access to AEDs and the ability to teach CPR. The HEARTS Act will save lives, plain and simple. God forbid a child goes into cardiac arrest while at school or a young athlete suffers an emergency on the field. But thanks to the HEARTS Act, there will soon be more AEDs nearby to save them, like they saved Damar Hamlin. I'm so proud to have worked with Damar to get this bill passed. He's an amazing man, and together, I must say, Damar and I, unlikely as it may seem, have been a great team. After he suffered from a cardiac arrest in the middle of a football game, Damar didn't just sit around. He came to visit me in Washington and told me he wanted to, quote, make history, unquote, and ensure more kids in schools have access to the same AEDs that saved Damar's life. Last night, finally, history was made when we passed this bill that Damar and I proudly led. So thank you, Damar Hamlin. You're both a strong and humble man. It's a rare combination. Thank you to the Buffalo Bills. Thank you to the NFL and Roger Goodell. And thank you to all the student athletes and great champions in Buffalo and everywhere who pushed for this bill. They all made it happen. Later today, Mr. President, I will meet with the President-elect's pick to serve as the next Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick of New York. I look forward to a fruitful and positive discussion. I have known Howard Lutnick for many years. He's an intelligent and capable man. And I think it's very important for New York and every other state, and for America, that the next Commerce Secretary is willing to build on the progress of the last few years and help the U.S. outcompete the Chinese Communist Party on AI, on chip manufacturing, and in many other areas as well. It's especially important for states like New York and many others, where we're bringing manufacturing back from overseas to strengthen domestic supply chains and our national security. I can assure Howard Lutnick and all of the President-elect's nominees that we will give them fair and thorough consideration in the Senate. As I said in my letter to Senator Thune last week, it's important everyone goes through the standard process nominees have always had, including access to a full FBI investigation materials, hearings with questions, and a vote on the floor. I look forward to my conversation with Howard Lutnick later today. On WRDA, last night the House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed the 2024 Water Resources Development Act, named this year in honor of our dear retiring friend, Senator Carper, who's been a champion of this bill for so long. WRDA is one of Congress's most important bills for water infrastructure projects carried out by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The bill passed with resounding bipartisan support, 399 to 18 in the House, with all Democrats in favor. This year's bill also includes reauthorization of the Economic Development Administration and several regional commissions, making critical investments in infrastructure, workforce, and supply chains that will help the U.S. outcompete the rest of the world. This bipartisan bill passed out of the EPW committee earlier this year with unanimous support. The Senate is now working on a path to get WRDA and the EDA package cleared through the Chamber. It's my hope we can act on these bipartisan bills as soon as possible. Reauthorizing WRDA opens the floodgates to authorize all sorts of water-related projects for our economy. It helps improve our ports and inland waterways. It helps communities protect against flood damage. It safeguards our delicate ecosystems, and it enhances access to public water. WRDA is also critical for New York, where it improves, among other things, shoreline resiliency and flood protections from the Great Lakes all the way to New York City. And the EDA authorization part of the bill will also direct more federal investment to our distressed regions and help them rebuild from economic hardship and from disasters. WRDA and EDA are examples, great examples of bipartisanship in action. So I hope we can reach agreement to get this important bill done as soon as we can.